Thank you for that prayer, Jeremy. I thought this was going to be pretty easy because I didn't know none of you guys, but, I just would like to say thank you guys for coming tonight, especially for my block. They come out, the whole block come tonight, man.
Right.
People that don't even come to church, if that's not, God, that's something, it's just awesome. All right, so, I'm trying not to use my notes so I can speak from the heart. So let's just talk about my childhood, I guess. We'll start there. I know somewhere in Scripture, I had it somewhere, I think it's in Psalms, but it says, even as children, we're sinful. So we're born into sin, I guess, in a way. So I was thinking about my childhood, and I remember being pretty young, going to Florida, and my sister had this pound puppy. It's her favorite pound puppy. And I don't even remember how I remember, but they told me later, but I threw it out the window and didn't tell nobody while she was asleep. Like serious, like this, why would I do that? So I threw it out and didn't tell nobody. I got in trouble later, and I said the wind blew it out or something, So I'd like to speak a little bit about my family. I've actually asked permission if I could speak on it, and they said if it would help others, then speak on it, because it's testimony itself. So I have a stepfather. He's Hispanic. He has his citizenship and his green card now, but he's been in my life since I was like 2 years old. I actually was born into my household. It was what you call a dysfunctional family, I think. I was taught a few things, and it was, don't tell, which I think that only created a mask that I had to wear in school. It made me think it was okay to lie. And they said family business is another thing I was taught as a child. Anything that goes on in the home, don't speak on it. And that's the way I was raised. So, and as a 35-year-old man now, I can look back on that and think that was wrong, because there's people out there that'll help us. As a child, I wish I would have spoke up. So what I'm getting at so I said some of the things, but there's another, I'll leave that one out. So I just want to speak about influences in my life as a child. My stepfather was very violent. He's a Catholic. He's from Mexico, Aguas Calientes. I went there one Christmas, but he was just very violent, and it was always in his addiction of alcoholics, of why he was drinking or using meth, or one of our favorite substances was crack cocaine. I watched my stepfather in a closet, not a walk-in closet, a closet full of stuff in there for, an hour or two in the complete dark. I'm thinking, this is my family, I can't tell nobody about this stuff, it's normal. I actually believed one time as a child that I thought everybody used drugs and it was normal. That if you didn't use drugs, something was wrong. And I believed that things. So I want to speak on the violence, not to glorify the violence or not to put the blame on my family, but I want to speak on it because it's been a big part of my life. It's actually defined me, and I've let it define me and my character as an adult now. I've seen my mom with so many black eyes, man. And to see your mom get beat as a child like this, I remember since I was a kid, man, just pure rage, and my sister moved to my grandpa. My sister Starla, she moved in with my grandpa, I think due to the violence. I have the little brothers and sisters, Carlos, Shayna, and Derek, and they were my kids almost, while the violence was going on, I tried to shelter them and protect them at first. Because as a kid, that's what I thought I was supposed to do, step up and be a man. My dad said, don't cry, or I'll give you something to cry about, or my stepdad did. And God bless him, he always worked, man. He always worked hard. I thank him for showing me good work ethics in my life. But just, I want to own this, and I want to disown it, because, it has, like I said, defined me, and I've held resentments for my mother and my stepfather for a lot of years, man, and I've let it just fester in me almost to where so you'll see as I go on later that I've done the same things that I was doing that was happening at my home, I've done as an adult. I've done those exact same things. So I guess my father, father was not in my life until I was a teenager. But you know, the beautiful thing is he brought me stuff at Christmas and birthdays, you know. He brought me presents, and you know, I felt love from that because you know he thought about me. But I always questioned myself, why can't I see? I don't even know my brothers and sisters. I was living in the same town, you know. Something bad could have happened. I could have robbed my brother, or, you know, something, or you know, which I did later. Stole from my brother, my little brother. So anyways, I remember getting Christmas presents, and I'd have a bike outside waiting on Christmas Day, and my immediate family, Carlos, Derek, and Shayna, didn't always have a lot of Christmas, you know. There would be some years they did have Christmas, and I didn't really have a whole lot because they stopped buying me Christmas because my dad would always bring me stuff. And then he started buying me clothes, and I was mad about that because I wouldn't get toys no more. My childhood. I love my mother. I remember laying there in the room one night, school night, complete darkness. I turned on the radio. Of course, I listened to Tupac and A Bad Influence for My Brothers and Sisters, or I thought I was a gangster wearing cowboy boots with my hair parted and bottleneck glasses with cowboy boots on, you know. I remember them crying because I would wait for that first noise of something to crash or anything. I could tell by my stepdad how drunk he was or how influenced he was by the way he walked. Before he even talked, I could tell how much he was messed up, how, you know, if I could handle him that day, you know, which I never would my stepdad. We'll talk about that later, but one of the most shameful parts of my life is I tried to battle the situation, and I couldn't stop it. Seeing my mom fall down and hit her head and bleed and crying and screaming, and as a child I didn't know what to think. I was prideful, and I thought, this is our family, we can handle it, makes us stronger. So I started attacking my dad, my stepdad. It didn't work. I started seeing my mom as I started growing older. I started seeing it was a lot of my mom's fault because she would antagonize it because we used substance. And obviously, as I grew older, we used together. I thought I would hook them up better because they'd get a better deal because I was their son. You know, that's just the truth. I mean, I don't know. It's sad that I would do that with my parents. But we established some type of a relationship. So that night in the bedroom with my brothers and sisters, I remember that night I sent my brother out there because this was my stepdad. And I was like, man, you're his son. Go out there. And I remember walking out behind my brother. I think it was Carlos. I remember walking out behind my brother, and my stepdad was on top of my mom, and he turned around and he stopped. So it was like a rage almost, a pure rage in his use or whatever. So these are just ways that I learned to battle. So I started attacking my mom later on because I thought she was the problem, and I was, go on, Dad, just go. And I was calling my dad because he's been in my life for so long. And I remember holding my mom tight, hurting my mom screaming. I was a little bit younger, and I said, Mom, why can't I go with Dad, you know, my real dad? And she was intoxicated. And I know she didn't mean it, but she said, you're a mistake. You were born out of your dad and my mom were dating, but my dad chose another woman, is what I've been told, and had a baby with me. So I've kind of been sheltered from my dad's side of the family for whatever reason. I was like a teenager, and I had two ladies knocking on my door one day. And you got to remember, I'm a rebel out there. I was raised in a home where I was allowed to use because they knew I was safe. You know, so I have a strong relationship with my mom because we could talk about anything. So I had two ladies knocking at my door, and one a little older lady and one a little younger lady. And they said, are you Brandon? I said, yeah. They said, well, we've been looking for you for a long time. We've been up and down this road. They said, I'm your grandma and I'm your aunt. I said, what? They said, yeah. And they said, we want to invite you into the family. And I thought, I didn't know what to think, really. They said, do you want to go out to eat? I said, yeah. They said, where do you want to go? Anywhere you want to go? I said, Burger King. Because I wanted a Hershey pie. You know, I like those chocolate Hershey pies. So that introduced me into my dad's side of the family. Man, they're wonderful people. I stepped into that side of the family, and I brought everything with me. I was already, I had my character, and I already was set in my ways, and all I could think about at that time, you gotta think I'm in grade school, and I'm selling pills. I definitely have the wrong influences in my life. So anyways, I stepped into my dad's side of the family, and immediately the house gets busted, and you know, they threw a big party there. I guess I did because I got the alcohol, and you know, there's this little twin-sized bed, and there's about 20, 30 kids there, and you know, bless my sister's heart, you know. So the cops come and they answer the door, and there's this twin-sized bed with my brother's bed, but these drawers in it, and I knew the cops were there, and I'm the only experienced, you know, person that thinks like I do. I put out the drawers, and I'm jumping under the bed and have them put the drawers back in, and everybody gets outside, and we're all underage. And I hid in there for like 8 hours. The only reason why I tell this story is because this was my life. I carried this with me everywhere. Because there was a time in my life where I believed that my use only affected me. I believed that. You know, if people were crying or people were upset, that's on them. That's just a feeling they can get over it. That's exactly what I thought, and I believe that. I guess I told myself I was going to be slow because I rush things and I get so excited and carried away and forget the good stuff.